Chaminade, or is that us?
I think that's the
The
gym
music
program.
is Chaminade.
If you think this is bad, I think you should come in during
No, I don't
fourth
know.
grade
It's not
recess.
Chaminade, I don't think.
That's phys ed.
They're actually in my room. You hear them like they're in
Hear them playing.
Donna's too.
It's
So bad.
Oh,
But at least you guys
okay.
have a little bit of a buffer.
No, they're on the side of the building.
Oh.
They walk down right past
Yeah.
our windows.
And that's how fourth grade feels
And that's
during
where
our
recess is. Exactly.
Gia Marvel's room, Short's room during our recess, third grade recess.
This
Same
room?
thing.
Yeah.
Okay, are we ready to
Oh.
share? Dawn, do you want to
Chaminade
maybe go
music
first?
will
Do you
be
mind
there.
going this way?
I don't know if my wonders are appropriate, but I had said, I wonder if the questions that had the largest gap were appropriate for the kids. I said, I wonder if the population of students that took the test were students that were the ones that didn't know that they could opt out, and what were the percentage of students who opted out of the test? Like, those are all the things that I always focus on when we notice that those questions that are so difficult are the ones that mostly our higher kids can answer. So, you know,
You wonder
the
if
critical, and those kids, I think, were the ones that probably had opted out. I don't know if that's the case
But it's something that you're
but I'm
questioning.
curious about
Okay,
that.
Danae?
I took a wonder that our group had discussed at the morning meeting. One of the people in the group had brought up the idea, knowing how the brain synthesizes things better when it actually physically writes. I wonder if we need to do a little bit more writing some of these answers and questions and things rather than as much digital as we were doing. And maybe it'll cement it more in their heads.
Me? I said, I wonder if we could revisit the module, remove some of the lessons that we know don't work, or we feel strongly don't work, and include others.
To show quizzes? It's funny because I said the same thing. I wonder if we deviate more from the modules, will we see better results in point of view? I think due to a time constraint, last year I did point of view a little bit more in guided reading, but I don't think it was enough. So I'm just thinking if we revisit that more.
I wonder if we scrap.
I actually have a new I wonder after listening to Morgan. I know that in my classroom, I worked on point of view, but maybe looking at the standard more closely and exactly what that means, how my point of view differs from the author's point of view, and targeting that maybe a little bit better. And then I had, like Donna had said, I wonder if our modules meet the needs based on Common Core. And then I wrote, I wonder if the text that students read was grade level appropriate.
Okay, mine was briefer, but kind of that has the same thinking that I'm hearing from a lot of you. I wonder if the module materials lead the students to be capable of answering, asking questions for informative text. Because a lot of times, like informative text, for instance, in the first module is the librarian. My librarian is a camel. And that's way too hard for most of your average third grade readers. And then you have the informative text in the module on the frogs, and there are those picture books, and they're supposed to glean like informative information from a page that has 2 sentences on it. So it's a big, variation, and then I think the kids just get turned off too. I wonder if they get turned off from too much information, because then we're giving that to them in guided reading. All our science is a lot of reading, and just here, read this again. And those kids that are not at grade level are just being asked to read it anyway. They're never really learning the strategy unless you sit with them and break it down.
I wondered about the level of the text as well as the, I noticed last year when walking around to make sure that they were bubbling right and all that, there were a lot of distractors, like 2 answers could have been, so I'm wondering if those are the questions that are the asking and answering questions, because that's difficult. And then also I'm wondering, because point of view is reading for information point of view. So if that was an informational text, now the kids can understand the point of view that their point of view is different from a story by the Wicked Witch, point of view. They get that. But somebody who's giving you facts, information,
They buy into it. They say, "Oh, the facts
It's
are
facts.
here."
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
so developmentally, that standard is
Mhm.
really tricky, and I'm wondering how it was worded and all that, and if that's truly a fair estimate of that standard.
Right, and I'd like to see that question,
Yeah.
because how does that look as a multiple choice question?
Yes.
Right,
If
that's-
it's how
Yes.
does my point of view differ from the author's point of view? How does that
About
look?
toads.
Yeah, how does that look as a multiple choice question and not a short response?
And if it was information, it wasn't toads are awesome.
Yeah, and when
'Cause
we're
that's-
thinking about how we teach informational and when point of view comes up in the modules, I don't think we touch upon that.
No. So certainly we need more work on point of view, but I think this question was probably, well, my gut is that it was either developmentally inappropriate or very, very difficult for even an adult to figure out.
If
Because,
there's only one question.
yeah,
My daughter had a homework last night, it was a second grade Common Core question, and I couldn't answer it. I could not answer it. It was not, she couldn't pull it from the text. I left it blank because I'm like, this is ridiculous. If I can't even, I'm thinking about this question, and that's what's happening with these kids.
When we get the
It's not
test, we
appropriate.
feel the same way, looking at the questions.
you go,
Like, which one is
This
it?
year's test was more
Dumb.
fair.
And it was like the reading was, and anytime that she gets comprehension sheets where she has to work on stuff, she's completely shut out. So that's what I'm seeing with our kids. They just are, they
So then they
wanna
get-
do it.
Marilyn, what were you wondering?
Well, I was wondering about the point of view, because when I was doing those lessons, and if you Google point of view, it's a very complex topic. And the standard saying yours